I was explaining to the other half. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's the name of the show? Donny Cho says, and I says shit. And she's
Well, I
like,
kind of do.
what? I said, well, no, it's really Donny Cho says stuff. She goes, that's not the name of the podcast. I'm like, yeah, it is. You've never met Donnie. Yes, Donnie will say.
Well, okay, there's a story because I don't know if you know my buddy Jason McLean. You know, he's part of that whole crew with like Tex and Big from
Right?
Michigan Rob and them. So he had a show a while back called Jason McLean Questions Everything. And I was kind of helping him out. I was co-hosting with him. And then he was like, why don't you do your own show? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do my own show. But I'll do the opposite of this show, Jason McLean Questions Everything, which is going to be Donny Cho Says Stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, but that's...
Oh, hey.
Hey,
I
there
haven't
we
seen
go.
you in a minute.
First Floor Audio.
Yeah.
It doesn't look familiar, but it's a pleasure to meet you. First Floor Audio, Nemo Ver,
the chosen one is here.
Yeah. I know. Be kind.
Hey Brian, you want to hear a quick joke before we start? I heard this one today, and I thought it was enjoyable. Okay. How do you know you're at a gay barbecue?
How?
All the hot dogs taste like shit. So yeah, that's this kind of show, baby. That's this kind of show. So yeah, actually, Brian, the reason why I asked you on here, because I saw you come on a few of my friends' channels, right? You were on Rob's like a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you hung out with Tex.
The booze.
Yeah.
I'm trying to connect with Tex on something here, but I can't find Tex on anything. I guess.
Oh, he doesn't do Facebook.
I don't even know what the hell he does besides YouTube.
It's so annoying. He's the only person in our group who doesn't do Facebook. So he's out of the loop in all the group conversations. So we have to like text him like separately every time. And everyone's just like, for the love of God, Tex, would you just please get on some fucking Facebook already? It's what everyone uses to communicate.
There, so you can just like get people. You don't even have to go to well, you know what? I have a buddy that still is not on Facebook. But I'm gonna throw another one because you went in that direction with the barbecue thing. What do you call a lesbian on fire?
What?
LGBTQ.
Oh, LGBTQ. What happens if you throw gasoline on that lesbian fire?
I have no idea.
LGBTQ plus.
There you go. There you go. And I'm just joking. Hello, ladies from Blonde.
Yeah, no, I've got lesbian friends. It's all good, ladies.
I got people in my family. The greatest thing in the world. Like one of my buddies in high school, dude was beyond amazingly a good-looking guy. Right?
Okay.
I mean, so good-looking that women like slid off their chairs. If you understand what I'm saying, he walked in a room and the head. Right. Mm-hmm. We all knew he was gay. So one time, like towards the end of high school, you're trying to figure out just before you come back from like first year of college, I forgot which one it was. And we're all like arguing, like, are we going to go for some fucking Chinese food or we're getting pizza? Because we all got together. It was great, And I get hangry. If I don't eat all day and you're playing a game, well, what do you want? I'm like, I'm going to murder somebody.
Oh, I get like that. Yeah.
It's a cancer thing. So, you're Cancer, a zodiac sign, and but he's like, guys, I got to tell you something. He's all freaked out. I'm like, what? He goes, I'm gay, and we're like, do you want fucking pizza or Chinese? We knew you were gay years ago. He goes, you do? I'm like, yeah, 100%, dude. We don't give a shit. Chinese or pizza? Let's pick something. He was blown away by it. It's like, really?
Oh, like, he thought he was doing a good job of being in the closet.
You would not, if you didn't know him, you'd never really know. You wouldn't know. But yeah, he was. But well, I grew up way back in the day. If you were like, people used to beat people up because of it. I don't know the whole, whatever.
Yeah, that's messed up.
I never liked that. Like, dude, live and let live.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a live and let live. I'm old school comedian. If you have a problem with these jokes, and they pick on everybody, folks, you need therapy or something, because jokes are jokes. They're funny,
Yeah.
deal with it. And
I mean,
yeah.
Some of the most offensive ones are the funniest, man.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It depends on your comedian, but yeah. I mean, I grew up with the Truly Tasteless joke books. It was that
I grew up with those. Yeah, I remember those. I still remember some of those. Those were great.
It was like some of them are really, really like they're hardcore, like and I told some to my kids, and they're like, ew, they get the like, well, are you body shaming? I'm like, shut up. My pronouns are shut the fuck up. That's my pronoun.
Yeah, that pronoun bullshit.
Yep.
Yo, I remember one of those jokes from one of those books. I still remember it to this day. I must have read it when I was 7. I was laughing my ass off when I first read it. It was, what do you call a fat Chinese guy?
What?
A chunk. I read that when I was like in elementary school. I laughed my fucking ass off, man. Because you know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
I love making fun of Chinese people. I really do.
Okay, so it's consistent then, right?
Yes.
Because my brother's wife, Korean American, and it was so easy to get her cards for the holidays because her name was Nana, Nana. So it was like happy birthday, Nana. Merry Christmas, Nana. Just fucking so easy. Her famous line out of anything is like, someone would say something about Chinese food. She's like, fuck the Chinese.
That's how people are in Asia, man. They all hate each other.
Yeah. So Chinese over the Japanese? Is that the case now? Because I'm under the impression from history, Japan was a huge empire.
Yeah.
And so I guess they were pissed off.
Modern era, not so much.
Right.
I think people are still kind of butthurt about all that historical shit that happened, which was pretty bad. I mean,
no.
Yeah. They did try to
gloss things over.
They did forcefully take our women, but
yeah, they did.
Yeah, but a few nuclear bombs later, I think we're even Steven now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're even Steven there. So actually, a lot of the older people in Korea, they're still pretty pissed off at the Japanese. But the thing is, there's a lot of like cultural exchange between Korea and Japan.
Yeah.
So more modern people, they're not as pissed off at the Japanese. Plus, we both have a united enemy in North Korea and China.
100%.
But it's mostly like they're more. I guess nowadays they dislike Chinese people more because Chinese people kind of illegally immigrate into Korea and then create all these problems and take our jobs.
Yeah, I just read Jared Crazy Indian. Hi, by the way. I was Japanese, but I grew out of it.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's got that phase.
Yeah. There was, it was cool. Yeah, I mean, like, between what's going on right now in South Korea, I'm like,
oh yeah, what do you think of all that?
I don't know, man. That's a little bit scary. It really is. It's very scary, actually.
Yeah, people were asking me about that. They're like, what's going on over in Korea right now? What do you think's going on? And I'm like, I'll say it how living 10 years there, all I can say is Korean politics is fucking goofy, man. It's real fucking goofy.
I think so, but I think what happened when they brought North Korea into the fray with Russia, China, and that BRICS thing.
Yeah,
they kind of got nervous, and they may have had other people saying, "Hey, why are we going with an outdated currency?" And I think they had a lot of fighting, like maybe we need to go join BRICS. And then at that point, if both of them are part of BRICS, then it's kind of like you have to kind of somehow unite the country. And I don't think it'll ever be united. I mean, it's just not right now. But yeah, calling for martial law is no joke.
No joke.
I mean, even my Korean Hyundai car is like, that shit's fucked up, bro. Turn it on.
Yo, it's bad when all the K-pop concerts got canceled.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, then it's bad. Jojo says, I tried identifying as a unicorn once, then the DMT wore off.
Ah, there you go.
See, that's where I draw the line into cryptid world, because we could talk about paranormal cryptid shit if you want. I mean, we don't have to.
You said something like I want to talk about politics, and I'm like, okay. I worked for the IMF and World Bank for a while, so I did some shit with them, and so I do some political stuff, mostly like paranormal stuff, but
yeah,
I am versed globally,
mm-hmm.
and people just don't understand what the hell's really going on in this world. So
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about this? It's been a month now. It's been 4 weeks. Almost to the day, right? 2 days. So, give me your thoughts on the election, Brian.
I will tell you straight up, I supported Donald Trump, and I was very, very impressed with Vance. Not really.
A lot of people like him.
Not really knowing who he was. That boy can handle himself real well, and very presidential.
Yeah.
He's no joke. He's straight to the point. He seems to be above board. So I was liking that connection. We needed DJ Donald J. Trump in the White House. We need this. I used to work. Okay, so I used to work data. Okay, I did client management systems, develop CRMs.
Okay.
Client relationship management tools. I know data. I've been doing it for decades. And I know what front loading is and rear loading and whatever. And I went to bed during the last, not this past election, but the one prior. And Donald Trump was miles ahead of everybody. Then they had a stop for 3 hours because of a toilet or whatever it was. And then you see this spike going up. And I'm like, oh shit, they just loaded, they stole it. And I watched the January 6th thing. And if you want to call getting stickers to go through the Capitol and insurrection, if you want to call clear, I watched all the videos. You won't even see it. You can't even get the old videos that they were doing live. I saw police officers, Capitol Police, opening the barricades, letting people in. So it wasn't an insurrection. And to be brutally honest, for anybody who's American, not here to hurt anybody or whatever, but when all those senators and congressmen, they got stuck in the rotunda, were scared shitless.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, you better be scared shitless. This is our money. You're lining your pockets with our money. We're paying for it, and you're screwing us. Be scared, because we, the people, you work for us. We don't work for we, the corporation. We don't work for anybody else. You work for us. Be scared.
Yeah.
That was that's unnerving. And same thing kind of happened. There's a little bit more to it with the United Healthcare CEO. You know what? I pay a lot of money into my healthcare. I had United Healthcare, and everybody dropped them because they weren't paying for anything. So imagine being a doctor. You go through medical school, you spend $800,000, whatever it is for medical school to be a doctor. And then, this service is worth $670, but United Healthcare is going to say, nah, we'll only pay $100. Well, we're going to drop it, right? Or this happened to me numerous times. You need to get an MRI. And they said, no, we're not going to pay for it. You don't need it. What do you mean you don't need it? What kind of doctor are you? Well, I'm a medical doctor. What kind of doctor are you? Are you, this is cardiology. I need to get an MRI or whatever. Oh, I'm a podiatrist. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
I had a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, I had a massive heart attack. I had a widowmaker. The Rangers lost a game they should have won. Fucking team sucks. Like, I was pissed. So I just started having the heart attack, and we went in there. They put a stent in, whatever. I was praying to everybody, and then they went in through my arm, not through the groin area. That's when they put a stent in.
Yeah,
which basically is like a little Chinese finger lock. Asian finger lock.
Yeah.
Get them in Chinatown. It's kind of like that principle, but it's surgical steel. They put it in, they open your arteries, and like, oh God, it doesn't hurt anymore. Okay, so they put a box around the opening, and they taped it up because it goes into your vein. You got to keep that secure and sterile. And then you have all these things going through. The next day, this tall, older looking, a young guy that has a lot of gray hair, more Asian-esque, and I'm talking about like Indian or Pakistan.
Okay, South Asian.
Yeah. Not Ann or Stan, not like Korean or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
He comes in, hi, I'm the cardiologist. I'm like, okay. He goes, what's that doohickey? And he points to the box on my hand, my wrist where it went in. I said, you're a cardiologist? He goes, yeah. I go, you don't know what this is? He goes, no, what is it? I said, get the fuck out of my room. And he's like, I'm like, no, get out. How could you be a cardiologist working in a hospital and you don't know what this is? Fuck you, go. So hey, Rob's here. Hey, Rob.
Oh, hey, it's Rob. What's up? And it's Paul.
All these guys. It's great to meet some new people here.
Yeah.
On Donny Cho.
People are excited to see us together. They're like, oh man, Bryan Bowden and Donny Cho, that's going to be like King Kong and Godzilla.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
We may need the censor button. No.
Oh, how'd you do that?
I have a roadcaster.
Yeah.
So anytime I want to, you can go.
Oh, that's
so I can
cool.
do that, or I have other things too.
I wish I could do sound
Remember
effects.
the old video games?
Yeah. Oh, Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
So yeah, I was using it on a couple of shows, and here's
it rubs the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Oh, classic
sound bites, right?
Yeah.
So what's up, BMR? So the United Healthcare person. Well, there's more to it.
Yeah.
And from what my research is, he was going to be working with the Trump administration.
Oh.
And certain individuals took him out.
Oh.
There are two women that are globally known. One's a big loser running for office, and the other one's an alcoholic, basically. That may be in this. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, okay, my thoughts on the election, basically, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I'm not a Trump hater neither, right?
Not a problem.
But that being said, I wasn't happy that Trump won, but I was happy that the Democrats lost, because those woke motherfuckers who've put all that gay shit in my video games and ruined all my comic books and my video games, those people can go fuck themselves. And the greatest satisfaction I got after the election was watching all those woke retards just crying and sobbing. And I'm just like, let me lick those tears, those salty tears.
They make this is really cool. They make these silicone sleeves.
Yeah.
That go over regular stuff, and it says liberal tears.
Oh yeah, I saw those.
Tears or whatever.
Ben Shapiro's got this thing where it's like liberal tears. It's like a brand now. I love it.
So here's the thing. I did business in many years in banking for the Trump group and against them. And I know people that have worked for Donald Trump, they still haven't gotten paid. He wasn't great in business for people that work for him. He screwed a lot of people. Okay. When he didn't pay what he needed to pay to us, when I was at, I believe Credit Suisse, it was definitely Credit Suisse. I was the guy that had to call in and basically repo all of his cruise ships.
Wait, you used to work for Credit Suisse?
Yeah. Yes, I did. Sorry.
What years to what year? Just out of curiosity.
It was in the 90s. I don't really remember anymore.
In the 90s? Okay. Yeah, not early 2000s?
No, I'm sorry. My bad. 2000s, because I was at DLJ first, and we got taken over by the Swiss. and I spent like 8-9 years at Credit Suisse. I actually built. They have a program called Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
That was me. That started. I built it. It started at DLJ, Donaldson, Lufkin, Ginrette, and then we went to the Swiss. Swiss had actual developers, so I was working with them. That became their trading program, research, dissemination, everything.
Did you ever? Okay, this has got nothing to do with anything, but I just got to ask real quick. Did you ever, while you were working there, did you ever know a guy named David Goldenberg? Now his last name is very Jewish, but he's actually half Jewish, half Japanese.
Actually, did he work in high yield research?
I'm not sure. I know he was working in Credit Suisse at the time, doing similar-ish work.
I know there was. I never went into the nationality thing. I don't normally do that with people. But there was an Asian guy named David, but I don't remember his.
Did he have glasses?
He was. I was gonna say he's tall and thin. I'm like, yeah, okay. And what else about Asians? You know.
Yeah, I think that might have been him. But anyway, that was my roommate in college.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know where he was. I was on fixed income at high yield. We had 3 different separate bonuses. We did the Google deal. And so all the deals, all the trades went from our traders into our system, went to the trading assistant. I had to make sure it went, electronically in so everybody got paid. I dealt with qualified institutional buyers, quibs, people like $100 million plus. So I knew everybody on the street. Everybody knew me. I went up to one of my buddies who's a trader, and I said, "Can I talk to you outside?" Went outside and I said, "I need to borrow $6 million." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Hear me out. I'm gonna get fired or quit, and then I'm just gonna take the $6 million and I'm gonna call you and buy $6 million worth of Google stock, the IPO." He's like, "Okay, I like where this is going. Keep going." And I said, "Well, I'll hold it for 6 months and then a year, and we'll see what." He goes, "Yeah, okay, I'm good. We'll do it."
I don't know if you could be mentioning this story on public live.
It was a while ago. It never happened because
okay.
I begged him. I was screaming. You got to understand the trading floors. It's like this. It's an office floor, and there are like several series of desks, long desks with the big. Got the name of the phone units in it, and it's a couple different trading floors. And I'm like, "For the love of God, will you fire me?" So I get called to the office by Ben Goodman, who started a hedge fund after Credit Suisse, which got bought by BlackRock.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Why do you want to get fired so much? We need you." And I'm like, "I have my reasons. You can hire me back in 2 weeks, but I need to be fired today."
Speaking of BlackRock, Brian, let me ask you your opinion, or based off your knowledge and expertise, what's with BlackRock's obsession with all this DEI and ESG shit and just jamming it in all these businesses? Like, what does that serve them? I remember there was some like research, some study that was like debunked that basically said that like diversity would lead to like extra profits because it would expand your market, but it was all like just bullshit. But I still see BlackRock going around doing this shit, like putting all, jamming DEI up everyone's ass. And I'm like, Brian, what do you think? Why do they have such boners for DEI?
Okay, so if you want to control people, what do?
What?
Is it easier to control someone who's intelligent like yourself?
No.
Or someone who isn't?
Someone who isn't.
Right. So, and no disrespect to people, and I'm not saying certain class, but there's a lot of people that fall in the DEI category. Not too intelligent.
Well, I mean, Kamala Harris is the ultimate DEI hire.
Yeah.
If you think about it. I mean, she got trounced in 2019.
Okay, so these are all what they would call useful idiots. And if you really want to go back into it, between BlackRock, State Street, and a whole list of the top 5 companies, which own basically everything in the world. This we're gonna get in so I don't want to get you in trouble, but
hey man, I'm not even monetized, baby. It's all good.
I know that, but they look for keywords. So this gets into that NWO thing, and we're not talking wrestling. And what they really want is they want one power base and less population. Get rid of the population, sterilize the population, and then have everybody dependent on the teat of whatever government assistance, the dole, right? And then on top of that, they don't want regular currency, they want electronic currency.
Okay.
Right? They want to take all of our reserve dollars, like US dollars, and make it digital, because they want to do exactly what's being done in the greatest experiment in the world, China, globally. Okay. You know, and this is where it's crazy. I love my niece and nephew to death. I think they're great. My niece went over, she's a University of Pennsylvania, Penn State graduate, right?
Okay.
Really, she is a smart girl.
Okay.
Goes to China on a visit for school, and she goes, oh my God. And when she comes back, it's like, oh my God, it's so cool. That app is the best. They have this app and it does everything. And you can get on the train and you can do this and you can do that. And I'm like, we really need it here. And
yeah, as long as you got the right social credit score.
No fucking way. Are you out of your mind? If you don't do the right thing, if you go against the system, the reason why it's great for you, American student visiting China, is you're not really bound to it. But talk to the Chinese population about how great that app is. Right?
Yeah. You lose that social credit score, you're pretty much shut down. You can't use public transportation. Can't get a job. Well, it's not like anyone can get jobs there anyway nowadays.
BlackRock's behind all of that.
Yeah.
BlackRock's behind the World Economic Forum, Davos, Bilderberg Group. I mean, you want to get in, you want to go deep and down the rabbit hole. These people start conflicts globally. They control all of everything globally. If you think, I love everybody Bitcoin. I was at Credit Suisse when Bitcoin was coming out, and I had an offer.
Yeah,
we gotten into it, $1 per share. Understand that?
Damn.
So I remember having a conversation with two other guys on the trading floor. I'm like, we're looking at this, and they're like, what is it? I said, well, it's kind of like it's held in a computer, and it's not real money. You give them real money, and they give you shares. And then they trade off that, but it's a limited amount of money we're talking about, limited amount of shares. And I'm like, okay. And it just didn't. I'm like, so I normally would do like a 500 to 1,000. So if I had 1,000 Bitcoin right now, I don't think we'd be talking right now, Donnie. Maybe we would for my Lambo.
Yeah, I mean, considering how much it's gone up since those early days. Yeah.
$101,000.
Hey, Brian, just out of curiosity, what do you miss most about New York, or living in New York, or being in New York? Is there anything you do miss about it? What about the food?
I mean, pizza is always on the top of the list.
Yeah. People don't understand, like, people who've never been to New York or New Jersey, when they talk about good ass pizza, I'm like, bitch, you ain't had good ass pizza.
By you, the old you, Rahway.
Yeah.
There's a couple of good pizza places there. It'll be blowing your mind.
Jersey's got a good number of them. Yeah.
You got a lot of them there. And my favorite pizza actually is in New Haven, Connecticut on Worcester Street.
Okay.
It's Pepe's Pizza, that one, the original, and Sally's is good too. And what we normally do is you have to wait online for Frank Pepe. So we had the private number to Sally. So we called in a pizza at Sally's, the other end of the block, and we'd be eating it online, waiting to get into Frank Pepe. my whole, my father and my brothers.
Yeah.
And then we go to Frank Pepe, we get our pizza. And then when you come out, you go to, it's called Libby's, and it's an Italian dessertery. And chocolate mousse squares and fresh cannoli.
Oh, damn.
But what I mean, I don't really miss that much of New York at
Really?
all. It's not the same New York I grew up in
Yeah, it's not the
at
same.
all. It's really, really. I was just up there the second, just after Veterans Day, this past November, because I have an apartment still there.
Mm-hmm.
All the stores are basically closed. It's super expensive. I mean, I didn't even go into Manhattan because I just had no desire to. I
Mm-hmm.
would love to go to a Ranger game,
Yeah.
be in that stadium, but I really don't miss that much. And what people don't realize is everybody's like, oh, New York's coming back. It's not coming back. Wall Street, which supported New York City, Wall Street supported New York City. That Wall Street is now down in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Ouch.
It's gone. Okay. And I mean, there's not much. I don't care what's going on. There's not much there. And then under the guise of these, they're not even Democrats. They're more socialist or communist leaders. Like you had Cuomo and whatever, all this BS and the swamp running it. The taxes are going through the roof. Then you had, them all saying, yeah, it's a sanctuary city, right? Look what happened with that.
Yeah.
I have friends that are police officers when I was still up there like 4 years ago, and they're like, we're gonna be leaving early.
Everyone's trying to get out of New York now.
I know several people, like I've told them, I'm like, my neighborhood used to be great. It was blue collar to white collar. My friends it was a United Nations of people. And we all made fun of each other.
Yeah.
Your mother jokes, like the things we would say to people, you couldn't say it today. You would get like, they'd kill you, but
they would cancel you.
Yeah. Do you know the movie Cat's Eye, Stephen King's Cat's Eye?
Yeah, I know. I'm aware of it.
Filmed in my neighborhood. Yeah. That several of the place, it was actually filmed in several spots of my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to go there all the time, and around that was the Gibson house. There was a big old house that they drove up. We would drink, go down along Palisades Avenue, and then hop the fence into Wave Hill, where Mark Twain was there, and the Kings and Queens. I mean, it was really great neighborhood. There's a lot of cool stuff there. But it's terrible now. It's really, really bad. They drop a lot of homeless people, and it all started really under the Obama administration, because when he said he's going to fundamentally change the US, he meant it. And what he meant was he's going to put people you would not normally see in areas that are really nice, that are diversified, but that we take care of it.
Yeah.
And he started putting in homeless shelters, men's shelters, halfway houses, and it just destroyed everything. Property value I mean, I'm looking to just, if I can't sell it through a realtor, I may just sell it to a Venezuelan gang my apartment,
Might as well at that point, right?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like the mayor there starting to, like, ever since the election, starting to change his tune, being like, these.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not a big fan of the current mayor.
Yeah.
I didn't like him when he was in the police department as commissioner. The number 2 or 3 guy in the city of New York lived in my building. And I said, what do you think of him? And he goes, he seems all right. And he did whatever, I'm like, this guy, he didn't even live in New York City. He lived in Jersey.
Yeah.
Sorry. We had the Bronx borough president. He was a good guy. It's just, none of us, what do you call it? We weren't with our hands out. We grew up with family that came here as immigrants, wanting to be Americans.
Yeah.
You're
just Greek, like my family. Yeah.
Chinese, Japanese, Korean, black, white, pink, blue, green. We want to be Americans. And like, no. I remember my grandfather who came here from Russia proper during Tsar Nicholas's tenure. Okay. He would teach me Russian. And my grandmother, like, no, English. Little did I know it would have been better to have some Russian, but I do understand and comprehend certain things, because of him. And but yeah, I don't miss much. I don't miss it at all. I don't miss the skyline. No. I don't miss that summer where when you go into the subway and you get that
ew, yeah.
strong smell of urine that comes up
No.
in the air.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
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 Yep. Prayers for Rob on a swift recovery.
The only thing I really miss about New York, the only thing is that street food that what was that Middle Eastern rice dish? It was like spicy. They sell on the street. You know what I'm talking about? I don't even know what it's called, but I fucking love that rice.
The halal truck. The halal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come out at like 2 a.m. all drunk from the bars, and then they have that one dude.
Yep.
With that white sauce.
And he's doing the shish kebab.
Yeah.
And then we've had it
spicy as fuck. Yeah. I
Oh,
love that shit.
well, you like really
Yeah.
spicy?
Yeah, I like it really spicy.
We had when you born and raised in the city and you work in the city, like I worked on Park Avenue, I worked 23rd Street, which is south, and then I worked right in Times Square for Bank of Montreal. And I'm like, can someone give us a freaking card that says I'm not a fucking tourist? Please don't charge me stupid money for whatever, but these guys, a lot of guys in my office, like, oh, you're going to go over to Fifth Avenue and, 6th and like 40 something street. You go there, get me the rice and the chicken and extra white sauce. I'm like, you know what's in that white sauce? Like some of the stuff that was a little sketchy on the halal truck. But
oh yeah, totally. But you know what?
Yeah.
It was fucking good.
Hey,
we got a viewer question here for you, Brian.
Sure.
Amy Creel asks, can Sir Bryan speak on the North Carolina land grab?
Yeah, I can.
I don't even know what that's about.
Okay, the hurricane that went up and
Yeah.
North Carolina, Tennessee.
Yeah, it pretty much destroyed Asheville. Yeah.
It's destroyed a lot more than that. So that happened there also. Amy over in not Wisconsin, Wyoming with the fires. So there's lithium under the ground there, big time.
Oh.
And that was, in my opinion, weather manipulation, where they brought the storm to the area, and prior to that, they released the dam. That it was a dam that was closed up, and they opened it, so that flooded, and they made it a perfect storm. And they knew that if you take all of that water and mudslides, and that's going to rip things out. But on top of that, there are containers that came from our Tennessee facility that handles all the nuclear materials. Barrels being found in like way too far away for where they should be because it's nuclear material. They want that area, and they weren't going to do anything to recover anybody or help anybody. They literally mowed over the dirt there, houses, homes. That whole area is littered. It's a giant graveyard. And then they'll give you pennies on the dollar because it's not healthy for you to be there. And families this is their lives. This is what they've had for generation after generation.
Yeah.
They just lost it because other people in the government want to make money with lithium because they think that's the future. So and what's going to happen is people are going to forget about it, but you can't. The ground there is so bad for you. It is filled with so much poison and toxins. You can't rebuild out there. So
they might as well strip it down for lithium then, huh?
Well, now what my personal opinion, everybody knows where the property lines are. All that stuff has been, GPSed. So, depending where your property line is, okay, yeah, you lost your homestead that's been there for 100 years. But guess what? You now have a 30th share of a lithium mine worth trillions upon trillions of dollars. Go build a new home. But the problem we have here is this didn't have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
These things happen. They purposely make this shit happen. The same thing in Hawaii. Okay.
Oh yeah, with that.
I'm gonna
fire,
go there.
yeah.
I'm gonna go there. It wasn't a fire. It was a direct energy weapon that was used. It's not a joke because they wanted to make a smart city. And let me tell you, if the Democrats won, it would have been game over for everybody. Game over. We would literally all be in tunics in these 15-minute cities so they can control you like, District 9, and we'd all be dead.
I mean, remember that scandal that came out like not too long after the election where it came out that like during the hurricane, like the FEMA workers were told not to help out any homes that had Trump fan signs out on the yard.
100% true.
That's fucked up.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to be very vague about what I'm saying for this protection of the people that. So when I travel back up from Florida to New York or New York down to Florida, if I can, my halfway point is South Carolina. This point's like Florence or something like that. So that's easy. That's like an 8-hour drive. But if you go in Florence back to New York, it should only be a 9-hour drive. But the asshole of the United States starts in Richmond and it goes to Baltimore.
That's my area, man. My brother lives in Richmond. I live in Baltimore.
Okay. So get from Baltimore to DC, which should take you a fucking hour.
Less, actually. It should take less.
Right. Yeah. No more than an hour. What happens? They got like 16 freaking lanes in every fucking direction, and it doesn't matter what time of day you go.
Yeah.
Dude, come on.
For people who are listening who've never driven through DC, it is the most miserable fucking experience.
It's the asshole of the world. Yeah. It got to a point where I was going to cut up down through where North Carolina, Virginia meet and cut through Delaware or whatever the road is. So I usually I have somebody that lives in the DC area that I spend time with there. Hey, dude, I've known him since I'm 6. He broke my nose, actually.
Oh,
bastard! Dang. When we were 16, I was drunk. I was fucking with him. It's fine.
Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's what best friends are for, right? So I stay over, and he works. He used to work for for the government. He still does work for government. Yeah. I know a lot of government people. I know people that are civilian generals equivalents. So we have conversations, and because I do remote viewing, and I've told these guys, they said, what's your assessment of this? And I'm banging out, boom, 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 boom. And he's like, when you hit, when you know you're right, and people look like, how the fuck did he know that?
Yeah,
I get that all the time. So I started, so we always ask my assessment of things, and they know this was. They were targeting Trump supporters, and you don't do that. Yeah. We are all Americans. It doesn't matter that you voted for the cackling whore or you voted for the orange guy.
The DEI hire. Yeah.
Yeah. She was hired because she's easy to be manipulated. That's the whole point. That's Common Core, right? Common Core is they teach you. No, we need Common Core. No. What you're teaching kids to do is be dependent on third party for answers.
She's easily manipulated. She barely has any opinions of her own, and she's good on the optics because of the diversity,
Yeah, I mean, to be up there and say I wouldn't change anything that Joe did. Are you kidding me?
And the amount of money they fucking blew through. I mean, you were following that.
$1 billion. Like, is it $1 billion or $1 billion plus?
It is $2 billion. It's closer to $2 billion.
We could all gotten $1 million or plus out of that deal.
Yeah.
We could have got like almost $4 million each as American citizens.
Well, I mean,
4 million.
They had to give that shit to Oprah. They had to pay Oprah like she needs money.
Oh, she's an evil bitch too. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. Yeah,
They had to pay fucking what, $500,000 to Al Sharpton so he could give him all these softball interview questions.
Yep.
Fucking morons.
She's a pimp. You know what's, you may not like his policies, Trump or whatever, but when he got into office, I'm gonna say it. I knew this last time he was in office. That man got touched by the baby Jesus or something. He had a religious experience because my daughter came back from school, my oldest one, and said, "Oh, Trump hasn't done anything." And I sent her a fucking list of everything this man has done under all that adversity and attacks and whatever, what he's done for every race on this planet. There's only two sexes, male or female. For single mothers, for from uneducated people, from Asians to black to pink to white to blue. He has done more. As a matter of fact, I will say this. Oh, people are going to get mad at me, but it's the truth. That man has done more for the civil rights of Black America than MLK, Lincoln, and all the other black activists combined.
Those are some fighting words there, Brian.
What did the man do? He's the first one to bring in everybody from the city of Baltimore, all those people, what do they call them? Community reverends and everything. Like,
yeah,
how can we fix this? How can we fix this? He brought him to the White House and he said, what can we do to fix this? This can't continue to go on. And what did he do? He started giving more money to schools. He started giving more money to people, investing in their future and infrastructure. Everything the D's have been promising these people and never delivering, he delivered on. Yeah, look it up. And it's really weird because whether you like him or not, I know Donald Trump for decades in New York. We know him.
Yeah, you're in New York. He was a New York guy.
He's not a racist. The guy's not a racist.
No, the guy's clearly not a racist.
No.
I mean,
no, he's just, I'm sorry. You know what? Not at all. He has the ability. He's like, if you had billions of dollars in Donnie and you grew up with multi-million dollars as a playboy, you'd have women thrown at you constantly and you could say whatever the hell you want because you know what? It doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done. And it's unfortunate.
Well,
you could have done, you know what?
Amy Creel says,
yep.
We could have done quite a bit for the poor hurricane victims with that $2 billion. Yep.
Well,
and
you need to go back to the current administration that's in and the people under him and them and whatever that are all part of this crap and evil that are spending all that money that FEMA needed to house illegal people that shouldn't be here.
Right.
And I come from immigrant blood. And
so do I. I mean, look at me.
There's a lot of people here. I'm not opposed to immigration. Okay. But what I am opposed, when I went back to New York last summer or the summer before last, there was in Newburgh, New York. They had a hotel. And it was filled, I think it was like 70 rooms or 70 to 100 different rooms filled with unemployed American veterans. They were given the place to live. Those people were evicted from that hotel in New York so they could house illegal immigrants.
Veterans
were evicted by the governor of the state of New York in Newburgh.
Man.
So they could put illegal people. No, the same amount of money, the money that they spent on all these illegals to fly them in, to ship them here and there and everywhere and spread them out because they're trying to, like it or not, they're trying to have them come in and give them, what was the first thing they said? Oh, we're going to all give them licenses and IDs. Why do they want to give them driver's licenses and IDs? Not because they know who they are, because what's connected to it. voter registration. And who are they going to vote for? Just think about it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to give you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry. They're trying to facilitate a coup of the United States of America by using illegal immigrants to do it, and gangs and the most violent people on the planet. Not all of them. And a lot of these people that were coming here, those families, they aren't real families. They get paid to bring some kid that they don't even know who it is across the border. And you do not want to know what happens to these women and children.
No.
You do not want to know.
And Tennessee
cut you down right now. We get in that area.
Tennessee Ridge Runner says, I saw today 3 people in North Carolina froze to death in their tent. Yep. They were found early today. What the hell is this government doing?
This current government doesn't give a shit about American people.
No, they just give a shit about their donors, obviously.
No,
obviously.
They give a shit about lining their pockets, total control and domination, and laundering their money through a country in Eastern Europe called Ukraine. And you want to go there, we can go there too.
Oh, we go there.
I have Ukrainian blood and Russian blood. Okay? I mean, it's did you notice? Think about this. Let's just sink in. During the C portion of the program a couple of years ago, they're trying to give you, they can't figure out how to cure the common cold, but apparently.
Jason and I, we figured a workaround to talk about that on the internet freely without any kind of backlash. We just replace the name with unicorn.
Okay.
That's our code word. So when the code, when the unicorn broke out of Wuhan, China, and started doing its thing.
So one of the things I do, I follow a lot of things globally besides UFOs and Bigfoot and all that other, whatever. I know what's going on globally. And I also, I do remote viewing. So I do a remote view. I didn't do it this August. It's been really a rough time for me this last year. So I haven't had a chance to do it. But I usually do a remote view 0 to 18 months to see what's coming.
Yeah.
So I followed the group of protesters in Hong Kong and Taiwan that were protesting against China, right? Because they don't want to be taken over.
Right.
And how can you not support a group of men, women in Taiwan and China, in Hong Kong, that are all carrying American flags and sing the national anthem, right?
Right.
So it was getting a great global support, and China got nervous. So what did they do?
They unleashed the unicorns.
A unicorn was unleashed, and I remember it. And I remember listening to the unicorn scientist said, this is a very strange ailment because it seems to be targeting specifically Pan-Asians of boom, boom, boom. Which have to be Taiwan and China. And I remember saying, I'm like, holy shit, the restaurant people, the food people are killing their own people. Get it? Okay. Who helped pay for that technology and that unicorn genetics?
I'm thinking we did.
The same guy who was in charge of it, that was in charge of helping to create and spread a 3-lettered virus.
The unicorn.
Unicorn VIH.
That one. We call that the Freddie Mercury killer.
So the unicorn Magic Johnson killer or whatever. Okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
The same thing. That guy is also in charge of the unicorn. You know what's really messed up? That guy, that Italian guy, said just prior to Mr. Trump becoming president, that he knew there would be a whole bunch of unicorns unleashed in his administration. How do you know that? Because you're the guy doing it. Okay?
Yeah.
So they release it. It gets released. And what's really interesting is, had we listened to what DJT was saying, Trump, about stuff, ivermectin, and hydroxychloroquine, and we administered it for pennies.
Yeah.
Then within no more than 90 days, it would have been done and gone. Bye, see you later, and we're back to business. But they wanted him to fail. And they also wanted to unleash what they've been working on for years prior to. That's the injectable unicorn fighter.
Yeah.
Why? Because what do they, like I said before?
Yeah, they're trying to.
They want everybody in small places, 15-minute cities. They want you sterilized or unalived.
They're trying to give out that anti-unicorn juice.
Yep.
Yep.
So there they go. They take it. Now, a lot of people are scared, but I'll go back to Credit Suisse. I should have been in the medical field. Everybody that knows me and my family is doctors, nurses, and surgeons say you're a waste of talent. You really should have been in medicine. And I agree. I just don't like hanging out in hospitals and I don't want to get sick. So, but I always wanted to be a surgeon. So one of the things I get when I was reading my emails, don't send me an email. I have like 500,000 I've yet to read and I'm not going to. Okay. I used to get white papers. I got Malone's white paper for mRNA. So I'm reading it. I'm like, oh my God. Oh wow. Oh my God. And my buddy Rob's like, what the hell are you reading? What are you doing? I'm like, I'm reading this really cool thing. And everybody started hearing, what is it? What's going on? I'm like, they've discovered something new. This could be the magic bullet. Meaning like, wow, this is really good. And I'm starting to read it. And it's and you can convert it and then you change it and you're changing basically your DNA. And then as I'm reading it further and further, it's like, oh my God. Because what happened is, if you have in your genetic line 5 different diseases, but 3 of them are locked away, so 2 of them are will come out.
Yeah.
And those 2 are, let's say, breast cancer and skin cancer, right? The rest are like, leukemia, like some really bad shit. So what happened when they started testing this magic unicorn remover injectable, it didn't really do the job. It kind of did the job a little bit to stifle the 2 that you had out of the 5. But in the end, over time, the more you used it, how many boosters you used, the 3 that were dormant exploded like Frankenstein. Hence why we have a lot of people with turbo cancer. And one of the reasons why I left New York is because there's no way in hell I was injecting my kids with any of that. And let me tell you something. Do you know how hard it is for a kid who is 4 years old to be ridiculed by their friends? You can't come to my party because you're not vaccinated.
Oh, damn. Really? People were like that?
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's not cool,
yeah.
man.
And, this is a time when my kids are trying to fit in and life's fitting in. But the consequence of that is a quicker, unaliving. And you're seeing this now. You're going to see a massive amount of people, and it's affecting a lot of young people right now. Really bad. like turbo cancer, uterine cancer, breast cancer, whatever it is. Some of the most bizarre cancers like no one should have this. Right? They want you gone. They want the population more controllable, under the control, 15-minute cities. Why do you think they made you stay 6 feet from each other? Because we have an electronic circuit through our body. Well, we have electrons. Like there is, you know how your cell phone has an electronic identification number, EIN.
Okay.
That's specific to that phone.
Yeah.
You have your own EIN. You have a certain frequency that you emit, and that can be seen with aura and whatever. But on a frequency range, you're there. The reason why they want you 6 feet apart is because our technology couldn't determine if we were standing too close to each other, which one's Donnie and which one's Brian. But if you moved just far enough away from each other, that's Donnie, that's Uncaged Savage, that's Josh, that's Amy, that's Brian. Think of it. You know what? Everybody who was a conspiracy theorist that that you were like, oh, you guys are crazy. Well, guess what? We were keeping score. The conspiracy theorists are up by 1 million, and the people that aren't them are in negative digits at this point.
There's still some that are still waiting in the wings to come out, which leads me to my next line of questioning for you, Brian.
Yes, sir.
What did you think of these recent UFO hearings?
Okay, so
do you follow those? Do you ever watch those?
No, because they're a waste of your time.
Yeah,
it's all bullshit. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You want the people that believe in this subject and have been ridiculed their whole entire life. They want that. See, I told you so moment. That's why they're talking about disclosure, but people are forgetting disclosure. Full disclosure took place 1977 when we released the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and Dr. Hynek, who was in charge of Project Blue Book, to debunk UFOs, and he couldn't because they're real, was even in the scene just before the craft comes down, it opens up, and we see the little gray guys come out, and then we start seeing some of the people that were captured by the little gray guys. And okay, that's it. That's full disclosure. We've had a relationship with a variety of different races of extraterrestrials. We've made agreements with them. We've reverse engineered their stuff that they've given us, also the stuff that we've been able to take down. Okay. When Lou Elizondo, who I thank for his service to this country, defending it, okay, the man has been talking about UFOs. I'm telling you the truth. This is the real deal. If you're telling the truth, okay, and this is a guy whose career is based off of deception, Donnie. It's about lying to people. It's deceiving them. Okay. Why all of a sudden he's telling the truth? And if he is telling the truth and he's really the guy, you're like, holy shit, this guy really knows his stuff. This is the real deal. Then guess what? He would never have his security clearance.
Right.
What does he still have? His security clearance.
Yeah.
And everything you hear from these people is hearsay. I heard from Donnie, who heard from Amy, who heard from BMR, and he saw that UFO in Fred's house the other day. It's all bullshit. And the minute they changed it from UFO, they want it to UAP so they can steer the narrative.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're watching smoke and mirrors. Walk away from it, because these beings have been around here since the millennium, the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Adam and Eve time, and before Adam and Eve. They know how to hide themselves. They know, what they can do and what they can't do. And they're really good at it. I think currently they're doing it with they're in forms of clouds or just above the clouds or in between the layers of clouds, under that cover. But as far as the other stuff, it's when you see a really clear UFO, and it's especially the triangle ones, and you saw one, Lou does know a hell of a lot Tennessee Ridge. He knows, of course he does, but that's his job. But he's not going to tell you the truth. It's a smoke and mirror campaign to either distract people from point A and B or to generate more revenue because it becomes a national security issue.
If he was going to tell you the actual truth, he would not have his security clearance.
And he wouldn't have a security clearance.
Yeah.
You would get rid of that. That's the first thing you do. I mean, Bob Lazar doesn't have a security clearance. And he was telling the truth from day one, whether you like it or not. So that's the whole thing. It's the UAP thing is their narrative. It's smoke and mirrors. I don't know what their objective is, but UFOs, when they want to make their presence known, they will make their presence known. Now, if you want to see something very interesting is over I think it was like in 2012 to 2015, having a couple conversations, I was doing some shows, but it wasn't as broad as this. It was like record and then they replay over something later on. Our technology in the United States, the black budget, we were about 150 years ahead of everybody else globally. Okay? Reverse engineered technology. All that stuff we use. Actually, all this stuff right here. This is a CD player, folks. Actually bought it.
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Let me tell you something. This is really, really cool, and it works in your car. It'll broadcast over FM or Bluetooth. It's freaking awesome. It's like $40. Yeah, I want it in my car. They don't put them in your car anymore because they want you to pay for streaming the same disc that's in there. And I have 2 words for them, it's not happy birthday. I don't want to stream shit. I own it already.
Right? Oh, I just Bluetooth my phone.
Yeah, I don't want to, I have so much stuff on my phone. I've tried to put dongles in and whatever. I don't want to go through that. It never works the same. So, you ever hear of the TR3B? I think we've had this conversation or someplace in some other stuff. TR3B is a triangle craft. Triangle craft.
Yeah.
Okay. There's patents for it online. You can see it right now. U.S. Navy, I think DARPA was involved in it, right? Anytime you see a triangle craft, you're seeing something that's man-made, reverse engineered.
I've heard that. Yeah.
If it's super clear, it's reverse engineered, it's man-made. And the U.S. people in the military and all these higher level, that are on these creating these, reverse engineered crafts, they continue to propagate the abduction scenario for their own nefarious purposes. They know why the extraterrestrials are doing it, and they said, okay, we're going to do this too to keep that fear going, and they do it. When the Iranians sent rockets into Israel recently, if you watch the video at night, you will see. This is great. I was like, holy crap! I had to rewind it. You will see a TR-3B in the skies of Israel shooting and getting rid of some of the rockets coming into Israel.
Oh, you're gonna have to send me that footage. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'll try to find it. I'll send it to you. It's right there in front of your face, and I'm like, holy crap! Right? So, UFOs don't need to show you that. They'll show you and they'll tell you when you're ready for it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with people who are experiencers. I have a couple moments of missing time. So I don't know what happened. I'm not getting regressed. But I don't want them touching my kids. You can take me. I'm an adult. I don't really want to be taken. I don't touch my kids, but we have an incident of missing time with the entire family. So what happens is when you go and you get abducted, you're abducted for specific reasons, and it's based not on your RH factor. It's based on your blood type And genetically, if you're being abducted, your mother was, mother and father, their mother and father, their mother and father, all the way down the line. You are a perfect match for them to use your DNA to recreate their own bloodline, their own creatures, whatever they are, and that's why they do it. A lot of times they tell you things or they give you information and they lock it in your head. People have been regressed, and people actually that aren't regressed sometimes now start remembering certain moments of the abduction because they're supposed to remember it. And they'll draw things, or they said, I remember standing and I was in a room and I saw a screen and there was this machine on there, a super shape, and they told me to remember this. And when they want you to remember or disseminate the information, like, hey, we need to do this, this, and that down here, they'll let you know it. Because sometimes, I still haven't told my family what took place in North Carolina on our way driving down to Florida. Why did we get to the hotel at 4 a.m? Well, when we were on Route 301, we got abducted for 2 hours. Okay. So, and they're using people that are we'll call them light workers, or people that are open to things and can handle it psychologically and emotionally.
Yeah.
That's why over time, some people get to see their children, their hybrid children, because the ETs are black and white. It's like AI, right? It's either yes or no, but there is a maybe area. And that's why AI will never succeed, because there's a lot of maybe in life. There's a lot of gray in life. It's not always black or white. There's a huge amount of gray, and there's a huge amount of emotional components, and they don't understand emotions because over time that has been basically bred out of them. So they don't, like in the conflict that Israel was having or still having, they allowed the firing of missiles to be taking place by their AI machine. I forgot the name of it. It was like a really weird name. So the AI would get reports and listen to everything that's going on, and they would hear that suspect from Hamas is here, and they just start bombing it. Not caring, because it's a computer. It doesn't care. There's civilians there. They know that targets A and B are there. So that's what they're doing. That's pretty messed up, right?
That's why there's so many civilians. Yeah, it makes more sense now.
Well, if people start using AI for the component or unleash AI in war and let it do its thing, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All they got to do is upload your digital face and it'll just track you all around the world and go kill them. Yep. It's really, really weird. Yeah. So I don't follow the UAP stuff. All these guys getting sucked into it, and you're wasting your time. My personal opinion. You can do
that's similar to my opinion. Like, I didn't give a shit about those hearings because I knew it was bullshit.
I mean, you bring out an extraterrestrial, bring out a gray in real life.
Yeah.
Bring it out, and show it live to the audience in the Senate and on TV. I'm like, okay, I'll start listening.
Yeah.
Right. Because until you bring something out, it's all like they had that one guy. I forgot his name. He came up and he's just retelling conversations or stories he's had with several other people. It's fucking hearsay, dude.
Who is that guy? The David Grush guy?
Yeah, Grush.
Yeah,
that was him. I could see his face,
yeah.
but I don't. He's talking about hearsay. Well, I've had several conversations when I was at Richmond's Air Force Base, and these guys swear they saw 6 bodies, and one looked like a reptile, and the other. You're just telling me hearsay. I used to go to a meetup in New York, a UFO meetup. And what was interesting is, so I'm at the UFO meetup, and some guy comes in that's not part of the group, and he starts messing around with all these people, and they're so naive and gullible. He starts spinning a bullshit story, and I'm sitting there like with my arms crossed, looking at my buddy, going, "You believe this bullshit?" And he goes, "Oh my God, they're eating it up." I said, "We can do that. I can come in at any point in time, tell you."
Well, you see that all the time in this community.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. People,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. I don't, I don't call, I try to go directly to somebody. If I have an issue, I will go directly to you. I will message you. I will try to call you if I have your number. You want to block me, then I'll go public. I'm giving you an opportunity and whatever. And there's a lot of people in this. It's really interesting. You're saying there's a ton of people in this field and all these fields that are in it for the wrong reason. They're in it for this fame.
Yeah.
I'm in it to get answers because I had this experience. I had a giant monkey staring into my bunk at 3:00 in the morning in 1980 or 79. I want to know what the hell that was. And if I get the answer, guess what? That will come if I really want it to.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not, I mean, if I wanted to make money off of this YouTube stuff, I wouldn't even do a paranormal, cryptid, or whatever show.
Yep.
It would be like something stupid, like, I don't know, like cooking or something.
Cooking would be interesting. By the way, I'm seeing some things here on your comments.
On my chat, yeah.
I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV, but I want to tell you something very important.
All right.
Especially depending on where you live, the parallel you live on, whether you're below a certain, in the southern portion of the hemisphere or the northern. This is the cold and flu season. Okay. I highly recommend people take 7,000 to 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day. I recommend a vitamin D for everybody, anywhere from 5,000 IUs to 25,000 IUs a day, especially if you live above in the northern hemisphere. Vitamin B complete. That means all the vitamin Bs. They make these things. You can buy this stuff right on Amazon. All right. Then you want to take 100 milligrams of zinc and quercetin, which comes in 500 milligram tablets. And quercetin, you can take the whole thing. It doesn't interact with anything. So what happens is people suffer from low D. And getting back to the unicorn thing, one of the things why people got the unicorn was because they didn't have enough D in their body. What is D? Where do you can get your natural vitamin D?
Sunlight.
Yep, here comes the sun. UV light kills viruses, right? So vitamin B is also needed for energy purposes, and there's a lot of other stuff in there. I mean, you can take some more vitamins if you see what I take every day. It's literally. C, of course, is good. You can get it in, your fruits, vegetables, whatever. But what happens is we're also low on zinc and magnesium. Okay, and so the zinc, what the zinc does is this. When you take the 100 million grams of zinc and you take a quercetin, especially if you're not feeling well, you get the cold flu or the unicorn, take it immediately. Keep it in the house. When you take the quercetin, what happens is that attacks the virus shell and it makes a hole in it. And then the zinc comes in and stops it from replicating, thus killing the
unicorn. Yeah.
Yep. And a derivative of quercetin is something I mentioned earlier, and it ain't ivermectin. Hydroxychloroquine. We'll take a look at what's in it. Trust me, you'll feel better too. Also, Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just giving you suggestions. They're vitamins and supplements. Talk to your doctor as always. Donnie, and I'm not, he's not responsible for what I'm saying. I'm not responsible. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one. I always advise you to go speak to a medical professional and get their opinion. Right? But a lot of people get bummed out and depressed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or anxious or nervous.
Mm-hmm.
If you take vitamin B, like a nice quantity of it, and vitamin D at a higher quantity, all those blues and that depression, that unhappiness, goes bye-bye. You will. I was just taking it to get some more energy, right? Because I had vitamin D deficiency years ago. And there's always been like this bit of anxiety in my father's side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of get a little bit nervous, or you get bummed out when the sun's not out. And I noticed that when I started taking vitamin B and C and D, I'm like, none of that shit bothered me. And it works. It works. You'll feel so much better about yourself. You should still go seek, if you're seeking a professional, definitely take some of, go see the professional. But there's a lot of stuff that if you're really getting bummed out for whatever, and I understand it's stressful, trust me, it works. Very. Yeah.
I've been noticing that, especially since the days have been getting shorter. I take vitamin C on the regular, not D though. I do want to start taking D and B.
I swear to God, go get I think it's called Dr. Schwartz. It's on Amazon. Dr. Schwartz vitamin D. I think that's it. I'm just looking it up while I moved over. Yeah, it's called Bio Schwartz. And vitamin D, 5,000 IU. You can get like 250 milligrams of blah blah blah. I take that all the time. Love it. Matter of fact, everybody I've given that list of stuff to, and I told them to take it. Everybody, even the most skeptical motherfuckers on the planet, they go, dude, that all worked. And I said, yeah. He goes, I never go anyplace without it. I said, if you're going to like, did you used to do like conferences for the old industry when you were doing the nail stuff? And
no. Some people in my family did, but no.
Okay. You go to these conferences, you go to concerts, whatever, especially in the cold, you're going to get sick.
Yeah.
But, thoughts on medical mushrooms, I think they're freaking awesome. I think psychedelics are great. Something I've been trying to look into is DMT. And there's a place in Florida that does it. In Central Florida, they do DMT and some other stuff.
I'm thinking Iboga.
They do Iboga, a little bit. Well, I think it's still illegal. I think you have to go to Mexico still for it. But along the lines of that, and
I hear that shit works wonders for helping people get off like heroin addictions. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so if you struggle with pills, they make liquid forms. I'm not kidding. Or they make gummies and you just suck on them.
Hey, so Brian, so you come from a finance background, and you're also a cryptid paranormal guy. So I want to ask you about something, okay? I want to get your opinion on this, okay?
Sure.
So a while back when I was doing my show, probably like last year or a little bit before that, actually, I came up with the perfect money-making scheme in this whole cryptid paranormal world, okay?
Bigfoot coin?
What I did was I got this idea off John Oliver. One of the things I noticed was that, all of these YouTube channels, what do they do to make money, right? A lot of it's like super chats, right?
Yeah.
But, YouTube takes a big chunk of it, and then it gets taxed, right? So I was thinking, what if instead of getting super chats, I submit my 501c form to the IRS and start my own religion known as the Church of Dogman? So basically,
I'm with you.
we worship Dogman, right? And I did a few like church services where like we would like sing praises and I would do sermons about our Lord and Savior Dogman. And then I would say, please give us your tax-free,
You can do that.
offerings and tithes
Love this.
to Dogman.
No, this is great.
And YouTube can't take a piece because it's a religion. It's a 501c3 form.
Yeah, that's it.
What do you think?
I think it's great. Go for it.
Because these people are all obsessed with like Bigfoot and Dogman, so that they go on these shows and give super chats. But I'm saying, hey, why don't you give to Dogman directly?
Well, you know what? I mean, I have a couple of friends that do all the talking, and they get in super chats now.
Yeah,
and it's very convenient to go. Oh, I'm going to post it. I'll do something like that. Whatever. But I would think it would be better for you to just send them something like, buy me a cup of coffee, like something through PayPal.
Yeah.
But if you do you would have to really design, and it wouldn't take that long, actually, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to design like a Dogman based Bible or something.
Oh, I already came up with the Church of Dogman 9 commandments. 9.
Yeah, but you got to put it down and why we do it and be able to explain it. I think it's to do that. That'd be great.
Dogman Bible.
Yes. I mean, you can actually do anything in this world kind of similar to that. As long as you become a, like, what is 501c?
Yeah.
Religious organization, you can start your own church anywhere.
Yeah.
I was just over we had Winterfest down here. And this was the first year it wasn't like 89 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay. And remember Vanilla Ice? He lives around the corner from me. And
oh, really?
Yeah. He's here.
Wow.
I see him every once in a blue moon. I see
you're like, that's Vanilla Ice. Dude, my jaw would drop if that was also holy shit, that's Vanilla Ice.
You come down, you can see him. And then you get, like, if you ever seen the Vanilla Ice project, he does a lot of construction now. You see Wesley Kane. Wesley's a great guy, Wes, and some of the other guys. And then so they do this thing called Winterfest there. And I'm sitting there, like, my oldest is with us and she doesn't know what this is, so she's hanging out with her mom. My youngest is off with her friend. So I've been standing all day long. I went and I sat down and I had some guy come up to me who looked more like Middle Eastern, like he was, would have been Abdullah the Mullah type of thing than anything. And he said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Yeah, whatever." I was posting your picture you set up for this. I was trying to promote it.
Yeah.
And did you see the other promotion I said?
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
With the soul. See the soul thing? I thought you get a kick.
At first I was like, did he purposely spell my name wrong?
No. I didn't mean that.
Oh.
I
thought that was part of the joke, so I was trying to analyze it really hard.
No, I'm out. I'm trying to do all this stuff. And this guy comes up and goes, do you go to church? And I go, no. He goes, well, are you a Christian? I said, no. And he goes, why don't you go to church? I said, I don't have to go to church. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, I'm an ordained minister. He's like, you are? And I blew him away. He goes, sits down. I said, you don't have to go to church. It's everywhere around you. God is everywhere. We started having this conversation about this stuff, but that's while Vanilla Ice was doing Ice Ice Baby in the back.
Oh man,
you see him on stage doing it. He does it every year in Wellington, Florida, and he lives in Wellington, and really nice guy. He's down, he's down to earth. He's making a name for himself. He didn't just sit back and count the money. He's really smart. He's really, really nice, and he does a lot of good things for people. So come on down, you can see the VIP. You can be part of the VIP Vanilla Ice posse.
Remember there was that time when Vanilla Ice tried to go metal?
Yeah.
That brief time, I think it was like in the 90s or something.
Well, people don't realize he was dating Madonna for a while when she was like kind of normal and just attractive instead of like what that thing is right now.
Yeah. whatever that thing is.
Yeah, that's that. I put that into the satanic category. I'm not going to go there though.
No, I think Satan himself would be like, ew, I don't want anything to do with that.
You know what? I think Josh is talking about your robe, but when you do the Satan the Dog Man, I mean, not the Church of Dog Man, your robe should have pointy. It should come up.
Right? Yeah.
Right? I think that's great.
Yeah. Oh, my other idea was to start the newest branch of cryptozoological research. And I started my own organization because the one cryptid that was big in the 80s and 90s but fell off, Elvis
Presley, huh?
So the organization that I decided to start in cryptozoology was the North American Elvis Project. What do you think? North American Elvis.
Thank you very much. I saw a guy.
You know what? Because remember back in like the 80s and 90s, right? There would be those supermarket tabloids with like, oh, I had sex with Bigfoot or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then somewhere there would always be Elvis. There would always be Loch Ness Monster. There would always be some UFO shit. But then over time, like all that stuff eventually blossomed out into this paranormal cryptid community we have. But for some reason, Elvis fell off.
He did well because he got overtaken by some other people. But I don't know. I mean, like, you know, I don't think it's a bad idea. I've seen somebody that looked exactly like Elvis at one point. Like, holy shit, that guy looks like Elvis. Like, if Elvis was, you know, I mean, a lot older than me, so you know, I'm not that old, but you know, there's the guy, the preacher guy that looks and sounds like Elvis, sings, and there was some other guy I watch on Instagram every once in a while who's trying to say that there's an Elvis connection to Donald Trump, and he's really Elvis, and I'm like, dude, I think the guy has syphilis because he's started some wacked out shit coming on. Like, what
did you see that one conspiracy theory where it was like they think Elvis is like this one preacher dude?
That's the guy.
Yeah. But like he looks like Elvis would look if he was old.
He looks like him and he sounds like him. He really does. But again, we have doppelgangers. We all have doppelgangers. I mean, depending on, you know, there's plenty of times when you can get mistaken for somebody. You know, I mean, I've had some really weird people say you look like this person. I'm like, I don't look anything like that person.
I've had some like assholes to come up to me and tell me I look like Bruce Lee, and I'm like, oh yeah, we all look like Bruce Lee to you, don't we?
You know what? On your profile, there's a couple of shots. If you looked at it quickly, seriously, I think when you had the mud chops, if you did do that, very, very quickly.
I mean, Bruce Lee wasn't a bad-looking guy. I'm not saying I'm insulted by that comparison.
I mean, you could probably pull off, like, you know, maybe the Brandon Lee connection. Like, you know, my mom had sex with Bruce, and Brandon was my brother, and you know, you can do that. But I like the church idea because you know it's tax-free.
Yeah. And I just like the Elvis one. I just like the name North American Elvis Project.
North American Elvis Project. Neep. And now you can
I think we need to pretty much end it soon. But before we end it, Brian, I want to share something real quick with you.
Sure.
Okay. Recently I found out, and you might not be aware of this. I recently found out that they're coming out with a Dogman movie. And I'm not talking about no documentary. I'm talking about a movie.
Yes.
Have you heard of this?
There's a werewolf movie right now, but I think there's a Dogman movie that I saw. I think I may have saw some bits and pieces of something relating to the Dogman.
So
he's gonna pop it up. I know he's gonna.
I'm gonna pop it up because I think we're okay to pop up trailers. Okay.
I think you are allowed to do.
Yeah, we are allowed to show trailers. This is an actual because Dogman never gets his own movies, right? Bigfoot had Harry and the Hendersons,
right?
And then there's other movies that are like werewolf movies. They don't really count because that's not Dogman.
It's not a Dogman.
This one is a proper
Scooby-Doo?
Dogman movie. Okay.
Oh, I can't wait for this because I
And
know.
I love the title. The title of this movie is called Monster Beast.
Monster Beast.
Monster Beast. Okay. So I figured before we end, we might as well leave a little treat for the people at home and for yourself. And I'm going to show you the actual trailer of this film, the first ever Dogman film. And then, Brian, I want you to give me your thoughts on the potential for this film. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. He's about to fuck shit up. Oh, damn, that was Dogman tracks. Damn, she found them tracks.
They don't really look like that, but keep going. Yes, he can.
There are two. Oh shit, they got black eyed kids too. They're like the bonus. Oh, that girl got jacked. For sure. Oh damn, cave drawings and shit.
It's actually a very interesting one.
Oh, call back to Alien 3.
Yeah, seriously, wasn't it?
Monster Beast. I love that title.
Monster Beast is pretty good. So I've actually when they showed they were in the tunnels and then the girl turns and the faces right there. I've seen those. I've seen the real deal.
I know you have.
Yeah. So
yeah.
My least favorite fucking cryptid. I really don't like them. It's like going up against a rabbit pit bull. It's just not a good time.
Not a good time.
But something very interesting is these people with the guns. Well, maybe they're too stupid because if someone that is experienced with a 308 or whatever you're carrying, those people are carrying.
Those look like double barrels.
Some of them look like double barrels. When you have an encounter with what they were having an encounter with, you look at your gun, you're like, this ain't gonna do shit. This is just gonna piss it off.
Right.
You need some super duper heavy power. And my advice to you with Dogman, don't try to, unless your life is absolutely on the line, you're not trying to kill it. If you have one in front of you, you have another one creeping up behind you. I think it's a pretty good movie. I think it's good.
I'd watch it.
I'm gonna, you know what? I don't normally watch a lot of stuff, but when that comes out, I don't need the werewolf movie because
because that's not Dogman, that's werewolf. That's different, right?
What I'd like them to do actually is I'd like them to do a movie on the Jesus, I forgot the name of the group. The Native American police officers, I can see their damn uniform, out in Arizona. And it's a specific unit that goes after all these creatures. And I think that would be a great movie.
Or like a premise for like a series.
Or a premise for a series.
Yeah.
They go after skinwalker, everything. You name it, they go after it. Oh, jeez. Navajo Nation. I think there's a specific legal end of it.
Yeah.
Navajo Nation, very small group. We're talking like no more than a handful of them. And that's what they respond to. And I've seen some video of them going out investigating, and something that clearly looked like a human body going up into a little bit of the mountains converts into a wolf and goes on the other side of the mountain, goes away from that spot where they have this guy locked up, turns around, looks at him, and then goes back out. And when they go up there, there's no body, there's nothing. It's just the reference. So, UFC Dogman. Speaking of UFC, I saw medieval UFC.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen clips of that.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Lances, gunk, gunk. Okay.
You know what? Do you know what bothers me about like a lot of these depictions of medieval combat though is like when you got people all armored up like that, like in straight up plate mail, you're not going to be using swords on each other.
No.
You might as well just be whacking each other with iron rods. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, swords are meant for people who are meant as weapons to be used against people who are not armored. Swords were historically a sidearm. They were a self-defense weapon. They weren't battlefield weapons.
No.
But I mean, people don't get that.
It depends on the group that was using them.
Yeah. I mean, the Romans famously used the gladiuses or the gladii. But that's different, though, because that was more of a function of just how massive their shields were.
Right. Knights Templar were pretty versed at everything you would see, like the Morning Stars and
right. It was mostly like pole arms and like longbows, really, because that's what you would use.
Yeah. When's that? Where does it come out? Like soon or?
Let's find out. I'm
like
gonna check.
Right. It probably should say.
I'm just gonna say in the descriptions. Hold on. I can't find it.
It's not a big deal. I mean, I'll go. Yeah. I'll definitely go look it up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. Anyway, I think we'll leave it at here, folks, because we've gone like almost an hour and a half. I'm gonna keep my show short and tight. Cool. Rob's got his late night show coming up, folks. Tune in a bit over there. And Brian, we definitely got to do this again.
Oh, definitely. I got new software. So on Wednesday nights when I was doing Three Beards, they're not doing it. So I'm doing from 8 to 9 p.m. It's called Third Eye Live. And the thing is, I'm only doing it on my website. I'm just like, subscribe to me, Bryan Bowden on YouTube. It's BryanBowden. So youtube.com/@Bryan Bowden, one word. Subscribe to that. And when I do it Wednesdays from 8 to 9 minimum, you'll get notified, whatever. But my whole premise is it's Third Eye Live. So how your third eye helps you to do what you do and navigate, through life. So if you're an artist, if you're a musician, you believe that your consciousness actually helps you to guide you to point A and point B, but we can have Donny Cho on. Maybe we'll have you on as a co-host also. Actually, I do a show on Wednesdays from 9, so it kind of lines up nicely. That's fine. We can just segue into and you say, I gotta go, people, and then we could say, go see Donny's show. Donny's going to be here. Actually, we got to have you as a guest on that show too one of these days. Sure. That'll be fun. I do with the blondes and Randy. I love those ladies. I love all those. Everybody involved with the Krista and Brandy and Tex and BMR and everybody involved with that is just a wonderful family network. That is great, and I appreciate everybody that's come in. And sorry if I was a little bit over the top on certain things, but we're not even. Oh no, that's exactly what we were supposed to. Why you were here for? That's what you said. So and it's the right form for it. I mean, I wouldn't go into but it's a lot of stuff that we talked about does relate into that parasite of it. Yeah.
I mean, I love talking about paranormal shit, but I also like talking about other shit, you know.
Well, that's why I'm doing like Third Eye Live, because I want to talk about music too. I want to get artists on, and I want to say, let's see your art. Where the hell did this come from? Did you start taking microdosing? Were you microdosing on this? Did you say, you know what, I'm having a DMT episode, I want to recover it? You know, your consciousness is really what guides you throughout everything, right? So how does it guide you? How does that consciousness turn into like, oh, my stomach hurt when I went in the store, so I went back to my car, and that's when the store blew up? You know, it's like, I want to know this.
Yeah.
And I also want to leave people with, like, you know, some positive, you know, vibe. So speaking of unicorn, I wrote a theme song for myself. So when you enter and
oh, actually, you know what? My show's lacking a theme song. I'm gonna need your help in getting a theme song.
Well, mine starts off, I'm a motherfucking unicorn, a one of one. You know, so
I mean, I could do it. I mean, yeah, we could definitely have cuss words, and actually, my theme song should have cuss words in it. It would be on brand.
Oh, I did it, and it's I did the song, and then I'm using AI. I write a lot of music, and I've written 100 songs almost in the last year, and I'm using AI at certain points because I don't do lead. I come up with a melody, I write it, and I will sing it. That's what I have my setup. But sometimes you need drums to put in, so I'm using some AI with that. And then they have a couple of programs where you can sing it, throw the AI, let it hear it, and they'll put in voicing on top of yours. They'll take your voicing, the lyrics, and have the computer sing it. Which works out good. I mean, but I like to perform it. They make it sound a little bit better.
Actually, I've got a real good show idea, Brian, that you and I are going to have to do. I'll tell you backstage, so not to spoil it.
All right. No problem.
Yeah. But yeah, for now, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We're going to peace out. Brian and I have some things to talk about backstage. But yeah, peace, folks.
Peace.
I'm going to
Be well.
peace out. All right.